Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving deep into a truly global phenomenon, migration.
It really is everywhere, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we've got a stack of compelling sources to unpack for you, exploring everything from the critical issue of brain drain to the profound influence of globalization and, well, cutting-edge communication tech.
Yeah.
Our mission, as always, is to extract those essential nuggets of knowledge to help you become truly well-informed on this vital, ever-changing topic.
And we're not just looking at the what here.
Mm.
We're going to explore the why and the how of migration, examining its far-reaching impacts
Right.
on both the countries people leave and the countries they arrive in. You'll see how societies worldwide are adapting to these dynamic shifts.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our sources kick off with a really critical concept, brain drain. Now, it sounds a bit dramatic, but what exactly is it, and who are the people we're talking about here?
Well, brain drain is pretty much what it sounds like. It's the migration of highly educated, skilled, and expert individuals. We're talking doctors, engineers, academics, scientists, software developers.
The sort of people countries invest a lot in educating.
Exactly. They move from their home countries to others, usually seeking better living conditions or, greater professional opportunities.
And why do they leave? What are the main drivers?
The primary drivers are often, well, things like economic instability, maybe low salaries, limited career advancement at home, sometimes political pressures, or simply the pursuit of a higher standard of living elsewhere.
It feels intuitive that this talent outflow would create winners and losers, but let's unpack the specific impacts, maybe some surprising ones, on both the sending and receiving nations. What's the real cost for the countries these talented people are leaving behind?
Oh, for the sending countries, the disadvantages are incredibly significant. I mean, they face a critical loss of their most qualified individuals,
Right.
which leads to labor shortages and a noticeable decline in productivity, especially in crucial sectors like health, engineering, education, science.
So the very sectors needed for development.
Precisely. And the true sting isn't just losing talent, but losing the return on investment in that human capital.
Ah, that's a huge point. The state's investment.
Yeah, the state's investment in these individuals' education ends up directly benefiting other nations.
Wow.
In the long term, this can really slow national development, stifle innovative projects, and decrease scientific output. Plus, there's a kind of negative social morale that can set in.
How so?
From the perception that, young, bright people see no future in their home country, it's quite damaging.
That's a heavy cost. So it's not just about losing bodies, but losing institutional memory, future leaders. Does this mean developing countries are just stuck? Or do our sources suggest any counter strategies?
That's a crucial question. While our sources focus mainly on the impacts, they inherently suggest that addressing the root causes is the key.
Like improving economic stability, offering competitive salaries.
Exactly, creating opportunities. But on the flip side, the receiving countries gain enormously. It's a talent injection.
Right, turning a brain drain for some into a brain gain for others?
That's it. It often accelerates innovation cycles in ways these countries couldn't achieve just organically. They get highly educated, experienced individuals who boost their skilled labor force,
Leading to more innovation.
significantly increasing innovation and productivity,
Mm.
particularly in, like we said, health, engineering, science, and technology.
So it's not just filling a gap, it's actually sparking new growth. That's a fascinating twist.
Precisely. And these countries also benefit from diverse cultural perspectives, which can foster creativity and new ways of problem solving.
Mm.
Migrant experts can quickly fill labor gaps, contribute directly to economic growth, and some even become entrepreneurs who create jobs for locals. But what's particularly striking, the sources highlight this, is that this increasing brain drain from developing to developed countries isn't just a national issue anymore. It's becoming a significant global social and economic imbalance.
We see it playing out on the world stage.
Absolutely.
So the internal dynamics of brain drain are clearer now, but these individual decisions, these national impacts, they don't happen in a vacuum, right? They're
Yeah.
magnified by broader global forces. Our sources point directly to globalization.
Yes, they do.
I've always wondered about the specific mechanisms. How does globalization fuel migration beyond just making travel, physically easier? How does that dynamic play out?
Well, a key insight from the sources is how globalization, by strengthening economic, cultural, and communication ties, has directly increased international mobility.
Okay.
For one, advancements in transportation, yes, but also communication technologies have created entirely new possibilities for individuals thinking about migrating. Think about it. People can now easily research job opportunities, living conditions, education options in different countries online. Their decisions are far more informed than ever before.
That's a huge shift right there. You can essentially window shop for a new life.
Exactly. And you see the international labor market becoming far more open.
Yeah.
It's just much easier for skilled individuals to find jobs abroad now.
Right.
And it's not just about economics. There's this growing interest globally in cultural diversity, which means migrants can often maintain their identities while still contributing to their new societies.
That integration piece is key.
It is. We also see a significant increase in international student mobility. That provides opportunities for individuals to pursue education abroad, develop themselves, and sometimes that's the first step towards longer-term migration.
I see.
Now, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, this blurring of economic and cultural borders has definitely made it easier for skilled labor to flow towards developed countries.
Which, unfortunately,
Unfortunately, exacerbates the brain drain problem for many developing nations, impacting their economic development and their social progress long term.
so migration isn't just about moving people for jobs. It's fundamentally about different cultures coming together. Beyond the numbers, how does this human movement change the very fabric of societies? What does this cultural mixing mean for social harmony?
Well, migration significantly increases societal diversity. That's undeniable. It brings different languages, cuisines, traditions, art forms, all enriching the cultural fabric of a society.
Which sounds great on paper.
It can be. This interaction can absolutely foster mutual understanding and tolerance among individuals. But you've hit on a critical point. This raises an important question. How do we ensure social harmony when cultures meet?
Yeah.
Our sources really emphasize that for this to work effectively, both local populations and migrants need to be open-minded. It's very much a two-way street.
I can imagine that's easier said than done sometimes. What practical steps can governments take to support this? Especially helping migrants integrate while, still holding on to their cultural identity.
That's the balancing act. Our sources outline several specific practical policies. First, governments should develop inclusive policies that allow different cultures to coexist.
So, official recognition.
Yeah, ensuring constitutional and societal recognition of cultural diversity. Then, it's crucial to offer free or affordable language courses for the host country's language,
Makes sense.
while simultaneously providing opportunities for migrants to maintain their native languages. That's important too.
Right. Preserving heritage.
Exactly. Supporting cultural expression through things like festivals and events is key. Think of it as celebrating the new tapestry rather than trying to blend it all into one color.
I like that analogy.
Adopting a multicultural approach in education, making sure diversity is reflected in curricula, is also vital for the next generation.
Building understanding early.
Yes. And finally, organizing social campaigns. These can inform the local population, foster empathy, and actively work to reduce prejudice towards migrants. These holistic approaches, when managed correctly, genuinely enhance social harmony and cultural richness.
So bringing this back to the economy, what does all this movement mean for global labor markets and how we think about work on a global scale?
It's transformative. Migration directly influences global labor markets in profound ways. Developed countries, well, they heavily rely on migrants, both skilled and unskilled, to meet their labor demands.
You see that in many sectors.
Absolutely. It boosts economic productivity and competitiveness, particularly in sectors like technology, health, and construction. And beyond simply filling gaps, migration also stimulates innovation and entrepreneurship.
How so?
Well, many migrants start businesses, they create jobs for locals, they bring new ideas, new energy.
But there's the other side of the coin again.
There is. It's this dual nature we keep seeing. While offering huge opportunities, this mobility can also cause that brain drain in sending countries, negatively impacting their long-term development.
It really underscores the need for balanced policies.
Exactly. Policies that consider both the opportunities and the challenges inherent in such massive human movement.
And finally, our sources also talk about something very current, how social media and communication technologies are changing how people decide to migrate. How are these digital tools playing a role in such a personal, life-changing decision? It feels like a very modern twist on an ancient phenomenon.
It absolutely is a modern twist. Social media and communication technologies significantly impact migration decisions, both emotionally and practically.
Practically how?
For one, Individuals can get real-time information about potential destinations, living conditions, job opportunities, even reading about other migrants' experiences. This allows for more informed and often faster decisions.
Faster, maybe, but maybe not always better.
Well, that's the twist. This real-time info isn't always accurate or complete. Our sources hint at how social media can sometimes paint an overly rosy picture.
Right, the curated Instagram version of life abroad.
Exactly. Potentially leading to unrealistic expectations for migrants when they actually arrive.
That's a crucial point. It's not just a window into a new life, but potentially a filtered, idealized one.
Precisely. On the more positive side, though, these technologies are invaluable for allowing migrants to stay connected with family and friends back home.
That must reduce the isolation.
Greatly reduce feelings of loneliness and alienation in a new country. And critically, digital communities formed through social media offer crucial support and solidarity.
Like online forums or groups.
Yeah, they provide a sense of belonging, practical advice, emotional support, sometimes even before or just after they move. That's an entirely new layer of support that didn't exist before.
This deep dive has truly given us such a comprehensive view of migration. We've really unpacked the definition and that dual impact of brain drain.
Yeah, the gains and losses.
Explored the multifaceted ways globalization drives migration, seen how societies navigate cultural diversity and integration,
And the policies needed for that.
and understood the profound influence of technology on global labor markets and those very personal, individual migration choices.
You really now have, I think, a comprehensive understanding of migration as this incredibly complex, impactful global phenomenon. It's a force shaping economies, cultures, and individual lives across the planet. And it's constantly evolving.
So here's something to think about after we finish. How might these evolving dynamics of migration actually reshape national identities themselves in the coming decades? As communities become ever more interconnected and diverse, what might a truly global citizen look like in this new landscape? And what could that mean for how nations define themselves?